possibly before things are thick?
So the best time to engage all this is before you start the entire process. As Renee has said, you have to have that consideration about which form are you going under. And the information now you'll be getting from me as a professional is that there are these different forms, and these are the pros and cons of each and these forms. And also in my professional expertise, having engaged in these various processes, this is the most efficient way to go about it. And also even that's just feedback that from what I see you're trying to set up, this would be the best form to go about it. And actually, like, for one very critical mistake which usually happens, picking on from what Renee was saying, the government of Kenya actually excluded stamp duty at registration for share capital of companies. This was actually to encourage entrepreneurs to set up.
Okay.
But most people who do not understand the implication of this is that they register companies and set up just theoretical share capital. But now when you start formalizing your things, and most people do 100,000. When you start formalizing your things, your accountant will tell you your share capital needs to reflect like 5 million. Because the company now, their share capital has to reflect the amount which you're using to run the business. So when you now go back to your papers, you realize you set up at 100, you now have to increase from 100 to 5 million. When you increase, there's a stamp duty element there of 1%. But if you went to a professional, when you're registering, the professional will tell you, think of your business not just as to where it is right now. Think at the optimum where you want to operate. Then register with that, because now that will save you that 1% stamp duty share increase obligation. It's a very common mistake which you see out there, and that happens because you've decided not to engage a professional. You see, now that element can be quite expensive to that extent.
Okay, and which other professionals should we be engaging, Renee? I mean, because now it's getting scary. So I need legal advice. I need accounting advice. I might need some HR help with, who to hire and what to do. And some of the times we just, put out a little flyer and say, looking for somebody to sit in my shop. Who are the people that we need? In other words, the proper business structures that we need to put in place, or at least start to think about and implement, even in a small way in our businesses.
Okay. So, it depends on what it is that you're doing, and the level at which you're doing it. Okay, so I can give you an example of a very successful accountant who's been in the accounting profession for 30 years and still runs under a trade name and has never formalized it, uses all of the extra work that needs to be done, goes to a limited liability company, but he does the actual auditing himself. Right the way to, if you're a professional and you are doing short-term contracts, you're doing a lot of research, for example, or you're a ghostwriter, it could just be that you're better off as a business name, just a trade name that's been registered. 2, if you are in professional services, engineering, lawyer, doctor, dentist, etc., that may actually be a limited liability partnership. This is what I always advise. Put yourself in a community where these exist, in an ecosystem where it works. Then that way, right from setup, as you grow, you have around you a group of professionals who are working with you, who understand your business, who understand you as the business owner. Very often we talk about the business, of course, as we've done now, talking about the structure of the business. We forget that if we do not deal or manage or support the business owner, 1 out of 3 businesses in Kenya will have failed. And now in this COVID time, the statistics will have failed within 18 months, not even within the 3 years, within 18 months. And a lot of that is just down to the business owner. It sounds good on theory to say, just go and find all of these people. But you will need to spend time with them to explain what it is that you need, perhaps to do a lot of research into it. And you're also looking to create a business that stands up.
Yeah.
It is better for you to be in a community that supports, that asks those questions in advance, that interviews, that understands your business, and also that understands you as a business owner. And, back to the question that you asked me right at the start, why did we start Super Circles?
Yeah.
Simply because of understanding exactly what it is that Ribbon has said, that today you will call me as a lawyer, and I will give you the legal aspects, understanding only the legal aspects of your business and only looking at that. Whereas what you're looking for as a business owner is a business solution. And if you are within an ecosystem that has questions from your strategic, your strategy consultant, where are you going? How do you plan on getting there? Your sales and marketing consultant, your branding consultant. where are you going to get the packaging from in this here Nairobi or in this here Kenya?
Yeah.
You know, and where will you get the packaging that is supportive of what it is that you want your product or service to look like.
Okay.
So put yourself within that ecosystem. I know what you're about to say, what your viewers are about to say. Yeah, how come you've created this for women and not for men? I hear you. We'll be back with that one.
Okay. That's good enough for now. Here's a question I have. Many people who are in formal employment then do, particularly professionals, do consultancies on the side. So, you sort of get a phone call and there's somebody who wants you to do that. What we commonly call gigs, a side gig. And then you just pay the 5% withholding tax on that. Is there a need to form a company for something like that? Or can you just continue to do that, as an individual on the side ribbon? What would you say to the viewer who's asked this question?
I mean, it's really a commercial consideration that you have to make, because one of the important aspects of forming a company is in terms of shielding you in terms of that liability. Because as a company, then as a shareholder, you're only liable to the extent of the unpaid share capital, and the company has its own aspect. So my own view usually is you have to make that assessment. Of course, you can also engage professionals to try and see that and see the type of numbers which you're running, so that you see if there are numbers which have gotten to a certain level where you want to put that liability separate from who you are and your personal affairs, you have it separate. But if the numbers are still very low and manageable and sustainable, you can really continue to do that. It's that careful balance which you have to make. And again, in engaging these professionals, it doesn't have to, it's not scary. It shouldn't be scary, because in the age in which we live in, like a corporate commercial lawyer as I am, my responsibility is actually not just to give that legal advice and to tell you strictly this is what the law says and I leave you there. My responsibility is actually to understand your business, to understand the strategic direction which you're taking, and then now to help you go through those legal loops to be able to achieve that. So that's what the professional which we're encouraging you to go seek is supposed to assist you. It's supposed to be your strategic partner to enable you achieve your strategic objectives. That's actually the main value which you bring to the table. We are there to work with you, understand your vision, and then now guide you through the legal hoops to achieve your own strategic objectives.
Absolutely. So it's not just the sort of cold hard facts. It's obviously you're dealing with people, as Renee has reminded us here.